the city of Bordeaux in France,
Okay.
abandoned by the city of Bordeaux. Found a great gift coming from a rich merchant family, the Simon family, the owner of the Simon clothing store. And it's about $2 million to buy the water fountain, to restore it, and to reorganize all the square. And beside of the parliament is the legislative library. And in the bottom of the flag, there is a crown. Around the crown are some lights. If those lights are open, that will be to indicate that the parliament is presently in session. And the great structure over there with the sun, the square foot roof, it's a tower of 17 floors. It's a tower of 14 floors. And it's the biggest section of an hospital found by the Augustins done in 1639. That's the first hospital found in North America, located at the lowest point inside of this walled city. So to do the complete tour of the wall, you cover a distance of about 3 miles.
Wow. You can walk on the on the wall.
Yeah, and in 1871, the British Army was leaving the old Quebec, and the relation with the Americans and the Canadians were really better, and they decided to open the surroundings of the wall to the civils. And Montreal, the longest wall, was destroyed. And in Quebec City, they decided to conserve the wall because it was an easy way to create so much marvelous pedestrian trail and walking all around the wall. You can see the city all the years. Very often it could be really at a long distance. And the lady showing the direction to the other one. She's the first woman elected member of the parliament in 1961. She was the minister. And the other women were fighting in order to have the right to vote in the Quebec province. This is the last time giving the right to vote to the woman in Canada in 1940. And those doors in 1984 were used by a British soldier of the Canadian Army entering in this institution with a machine gun and 2 persons working. And Mr. Maurice Duplessis is the premier of the Quebec province for the longest time during 20 years.
That sounds like a Dutch name.
Plessis, French name.
Oh, French
and
name.
if you go beside of the hotel with the revolving restaurant,
Right.
at night, that's the Battlefields Park with a garden just beside of this hotel. And this garden is named the John of Arc Garden.
Right.
And there is some elms all around, some trees with some little lantern in the trees. And it's going to be open automatically at night, and that will be marvelous. Or in the surrounding, you have to go there. And the parliament was erected from 1877 to 86, 4 wings and a central courtyard. In the middle of it, there is another big structure, and this is a restaurant. And the restaurant is usually open to everybody at the dinner time, only during the week. It's a marvelous dining room. It's the most beautiful restaurant in all Quebec City. And this one is the highest skyscraper in Quebec City. And the last deck is our public observatory
Oh, you have
for
observatory
the
on the top.
education monastery.
Oh, okay.
And right now, the ground structure for the lowest part is the Delta Hotel. The last part is for the public observatory. It's for the transport minister. And this one is the winner of the prize of architecture. This is one of the 12 head office of Insurance Corporation in Quebec City.
Okay.
And the old one at the end of the view is there for monastery originally, but 30 years ago it was transformed in a cooperative of 235 apartments with also some condos, apartments. And there, on the other side of the street, where is the silver roof, this is the first, only one house at first is the original hotel named Chateau Laurier. But now you got 7 of those houses, only the front facade are preserved. Everything on the back completely disappear in order to create this modern hotel enlarged very often. And now an hotel of 200 rooms, classified 4 stars. Hotel Chateau Laurier. And the building at the end of the view is the Armory. This building seems to be an old one, but it's a brand new one. It's get a fire in April 2008, and the roof was totally destroyed by this fire, and everything was rebuilt at the cost of $105 million. And the giant hall is now full equipped like it used to be in a great concert hall with a perfect quality for the acoustic. It's got more material placed inside to impede the reflection of the sounds, and it's fully equipped with a great sound systems, light systems, laser, and you got from one street corner to the other one the biggest concentration of sidewalk cafe in the city. The concentration of restaurant, bar, dancing club, microbrewery. At night you will see a lot of young going to a big dancing club on the other side named Chez Dagobert, where 1,100 persons can enter the same dancing club. If you go from the east to the west in the upper town, you go step by step from the oldest to the youngest section of this city. And if you stay beside of the cliff and the river outside of the old Quebec, you will find at first a park. The park more on this direction is the largest one with follow this main avenue. After this park is a private college and some few streets for the rich with some big trees. Just after is another park. After you got 2 big cemeteries, old cemeteries, Anglophone cemeteries, some big trees again. After you got some other private college, religious monasteries, old domain, and their mansion, and you got a forest and another park. So practically 3 miles of the 5 miles beside of the cliff and the river, it's constantly some green acres and trees and forest. And the cliff on the other side is doing a U-turn and is coming back on the back. And the both cliff, where is the old Quebec, are finally united again. That's the upper town. Don't have any industry. The upper town. The most beautiful section of the city, and it's geologically connected to the other side of the river. We are here at the end of the Appalachian Mountains. That's the only section of the Appalachian Mountains on the north shore of the river. those appalachian mountains are covering the other side of the river in the Quebec province. And everything Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and the New England state.
Oh, okay.
And that's where you will have to go at night, where is the garden beside of the hotel. The Concord space of the park on the other side right here is the second section of the park, created in 1955. The Armory, that's the same architect for this one and the Parliament building. First building in Canada with an architecture like castle, concentric in the valley of the River La Loire in France. And beside of the Armory, you will see a building like a castle. And then this one, that's originally for the soldier, the naval reserve, and it's now a museum talking about the story of the Battle of Queen's Park. And this section of the park was from 1874 to 1915, a golf course.
Oh.
More on this direction. That's the original section of the park, the largest section where the fields are really flat. And those flat fields in 1636 were named the Plains of Abraham. Because those flat fields were occupied by the animals of the farms of the Scottish named Abraham Martin. And that's right here, the statue of the famous Chinese Confucius.
Oh, Confucius.
So the Plains of Abraham, this name was used to give a name to a short battle between the French and the British in 1759. After the battle, the Canada started to be a British colony. And those flat fields were used by Charles Lindbergh to land with its plane when it's got no airport in Quebec City. And those flat fields were the beginning of the park where at first the first horses races track in Canada. And the west side of the wall was built at the end of the French colony in 1745. And the rest of the tour of this wall is doing a kind of U-turn and was finished by the British to prevent an attack from the Americans. In 1775, it got the Independence War in the United States. The Americans were fighting against the British soldiers, and Canada was a British colony, so they were here around this city during 167 days. But they were unable to control the city. They decided to attack the walled city at midnight, the first of the year, the 31st of December, 1775. But they didn't succeed to attack. And finally, the American and looking to their reinforcement arriving in the spring with the British, they decide to return in the United States. This is the last time it's get a battle. We didn't have any battle. We didn't have any civil war or war in the city since 1775. So it's really a long time ago. A long time ago, the river was not enough deep to permit the tall ship to continue more in the hinterland. And that's why this city was an important harbor. In 1805, Napoleon, the French emperor, with some other European countries, were cutting the way with the commercial embargo. And pitching the British to import the wood from the Scandinavian countries, especially from the Sweden.
Right.
And they started to import the wood from the Canadian forest. And the wood was transported using the river and the St. Lawrence River and was put in the tall ship of the British Navy from Quebec City in order to go into Great Britain. And you were in the third busiest harbor after New York and New Orleans in the United States.
Right.
The city you are looking, where's the Quebec? This is at this time.
Okay.
A lot of people, the rich society were living in those residences inside of this whole city. And about 40% of the space was occupied by the soldiers. And in the bottom of the cliff of the cave, the low tide permitted to liberate the space, and this space was used to multiply the stream and the construction and to reorganize the dock of the Quebec harbor. The majority of the lower town of this whole city is with on the water.
Right.
Tide of the Atlantic Ocean is arriving in this river. Could be a tide of between 10 to 17 feet in the bottom of the cliff.
Okay.
And this house was erected in 1739.
1739.
Covered with a stainless steel roof.
Right.
It's going to be 4th century.
Okay.
The house built only 6,000 person in the city. The highest one or the youngest one. All those ones were built in 1898. And there were 100,000 person living in the city. When the smallest one on this side with only 2 levels was erected in 1720. There were only 5,000 person living in the city. And this restaurant is the only restaurant in the old Quebec with a cuisine coming from the First Nation.
Coming from where?
Excuse me?
Coming from where?
The First Nation.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the people living here before the Europeans
Right.
were coming.
Like authentic, very authentic.
Yeah. But they were from Asia. But they were
okay.
moving in North America after the last glacier period, maybe
okay.
8,000 years ago.
Okay.
And at the end of the view, there is an old wall, and the wall is there since 1690. This wall was a cannon deck, and we were using some street, but on the back of those houses, it's a lot of space, and that's the first school found for the girls in Canada in 1639. And this school is still the most expensive private elementary school.
Oh.
Boys and girls in Quebec City. The first school found for the girls in Canada in 1639 and the biggest, oldest religious complex concert in Canada.
Oh. So
And the
that's
restaurant Parmesan right here is the most unique, special
right.
complex for all the restaurants in all Quebec City. Parmesan. And the smallest white one is 1677, second oldest house of the Quebec. The wood structure of this roof is the oldest roof of the Quebec. Not affected by any fire or cannonball.
Oh, okay. Very good. Lot of history.
Continental, you see, all the weather are like the penguins. You got the best service in all Quebec City. The oldest French cuisine restaurant found in North America in 1956.
Wow.
For the plant-based. And the restaurant right here, this is the first sidewalk cafe, the oldest one in Quebec City. The restaurant was a stable for the horse, and the youngest section of the hotel Castle where it's a swimming pool and the canyon
Whoa.
was erected in 19th century after the beginning. And on the back, that's originally the courthouse, transformed after in the financial ministry. Same
Okay.
architect and architecture for this one and the prominent building.
Right.
Greenland, in the middle of the river, is the Orleans Island, with about 20 miles long. And the mountains at the limit of the city, that's the Canadian Shields or the Canadian Buckler, covering 40% of the Canadian shore and touching to the United States only in the Minnesota state.
Okay.
The last folks in my carriage are from Minnesota.
Oh.
And those mountains at the end over there are going in the St. Lawrence River. There is no more valley. And
Okay.
at the bottom of this mountain are the first wetland preserve in North America since 1961. And I will take some of the photo of you
Sure, thank
before
you.
you will leave